We have got 16 drivers, just to confirm. Yeah. I did a count in chat. It's Mark 2. Yeah.
We were going to do like a driver's briefing before practice.
Beef 68's back.
Oh.
Hey, Winlow. What's your actual name?
Yo.
Quentin. Great. Did you want to jump into the other chat with me real quick, just so we don't have to go through the judges talking about their judging stuff?
Yeah, sure. Is there another chat somewhere?
Yeah.
We can have a chat.
Let me see if I can put you into the stream one.
God damn. Much better.
All right. Gotcha.
I had
Yeah.
like a double like voice sort of thing delay going on. I was like, cool. I've actually never. Oh wait. Mute. Is that better? Can you hear me? Yep. Yep. Mine was muted from Mark. I don't know if it's still muted. I'll just mute it. Yeah, sweet. Yep. Cool. Mhm.
All right. Yep.
All good?
I've got my ears on and I can hear you all right. Can you hear me good?
Yeah. It's good.
Cool. Easy.
situation got me running like I'm losing my mind.
I've been down the darkest road. Didn't think I could get out. Now I just walk on through. The ghosts are all around. Here and I can't be moved. I never look back. They start creeping in, but I'm leaving them in the past. Don't tell me that I'm dreaming. Don't tell me that I'm wrong. 'Cause I've heard it all before. And just look where I am now. We can break the cycle. Find our own way out. Was the light at the end of the tunnel? So I look at myself. The ghosts are all around. The ghosts are all around. I've been down the darkest road. I know that it's true. So throw your dirt at me and make it look brand new. They all know my name. Not an easy shot. Turn these tears into gold. They shine like what I've lost. Don't tell me that I'm dreaming. Don't tell me that I'm wrong. 'Cause I've heard it all before. And just look at where I am now. We can break the cycle. just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I wanna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I've been stuck on your memory, but it's not like I need it. And we may have some history, but we don't have to repeat it. You made this mess and left me with the pieces. Now I'm gonna burn all the bridges between us. I can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. 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 I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. I just need to. I just need to clear my head. Can't focus, I can't forget. I've been thinking too much lately. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. Oh, clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I just need to clear my head. I got enough of every melody, they all sound the same. Yeah. For my broken heart, no remedy, but maybe if you stay, we can get away with it. 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition. No apologies, my baby. I do you do 'cause I'm feeling so good. Ooh.
If you look at the web thing, the doc that Mark's got running,
Mhm.
he's got notes to communicate with us.
Cool.
Alrighty, that's us ready to go live.
But you'll be there, ready to rescue me if I go out of track. We can 'Cause you make me love my imperfections, answer all my questions, just to show me what's on the other side of inhibition.
Alrighty, that's us live. So, welcome to the first ever Friday Night Frenzy Drift event for 2024. Tonight, we are commentating alongside myself, Patrick Barley, with Quinton here tonight. Quinton, how are we going?
Yeah, good man. Really excited to get this underway. Yeah, my first ever event I'm going to be commentating, so that's always going to be fun, and a first Friday night frenzy, so that's awesome as well.
Yeah, it should be good. We've got a bit going on there for this one. We've got 16 drivers lined up for a traditional top 16 battle tree tonight. So we've got plenty of cars, plenty of action.
Yeah, plenty of cars, plenty of good drivers too. A lot of these guys drive in real life, and they're just sort of coming over to the sim, or they've even got a little bit of experience on the sim as well. So it's going to be good to see how these guys stack up against each other.
Yeah, there's a couple names out there that I'm looking forward to seeing drive tonight. The Big G, Alex Vianova, I can't pronounce his surname, but one of the long-time drivers that I haven't seen drive in person before. But it'll be good to see him out there tonight, as well as one dark horse that is kind of getting into the real-life drifting now, but he's been up there with the strong guys for a while, old HSK out there. It'll be good to see how he puts it out there in the sim world.
Yeah, for sure, man, for sure. All right, so I'll just give you guys a quick little rundown of what we're up to at the moment. Top 16. These guys are just doing a bit of a practice, having a bit of a throwdown. They started at 7 o'clock, so shortly we will go over into our line map where the judges will come and give you a run through on what these guys are going to be trying to do on the track and what they're going to be looking for. Then we'll move on to some qualifying after that. Should be good to see.
Yeah, we'll line them up one by one for their solo runs, so we'll get to see them hopefully put down their best. They've got 2 runs to do it right, though. So we'll see who comes out on top in qualifying.
Yeah, we're going to run these qualifying runs in an interesting way. I think it's actually quite good. They're going to be doing both of their qualifying runs back to back. So they'll do one run, they'll shoot through, and they'll have a second run to be able to catch up on any mistakes or clean up any line that they wish to.
Yeah, I've done this format a couple of times out there with traditional do one run, wait till everyone does their first run and do it again, and then I've done the back-to-back runs. Me personally, I do prefer the back-to-back runs because you're fresh, you're ready to go, you've just done a run, you know the critiques that you need to do out there, and yeah, keeps you nice and fresh and on your toes, that's for sure.
Yeah, 100%. Sometimes it can be difficult. You know, you go out for a run and you have to wait sometimes quite a while to get into another run, and you're sitting in limbo for a little bit. It's a little bit of bit of time, and it's doing it this way. I feel like, yeah, like you said, you stay nice and fresh, and yeah, can help out a lot.
Yeah, so we might do a quick introduction of the track that we're running at. We won't go into the specifics of the layout just yet. We'll leave that for the judges. But Quinton, where are we driving tonight?
Tonight, on this evening, we're on ESJ Englishtown. Shout out to Joker Design for putting this one together for us. And what cars do we have here, Pat?
Yeah, so tonight we'll be running the VDC competition cars. So these are all pretty high horsepower, pretty grippy cars. So we've got a bit of a variety out there tonight. I don't believe we've got 16 individual cars. I believe a couple of people are running the same cars out there, but a good mix of cars anyways.
Yeah, for sure. Just another quick shout out to a couple of our other sponsors. We have Atlantic Oil and Zoo Performance, so big thank you for those. And I believe the first place winner, there'll be a prize. So we might announce that later on. Also, Shop ADV for all your driver apparel.
Yeah, absolutely. The one-stop shop for getting your merchandise sorted. My personal stuff is on there as well. So if you want to shoot over to shopadv.net after the stream tonight, you can check out a bit of a variety. They've got some good drivers out there, between myself, Todd Mule and the Sprint Cars, a couple of the Speedway people. They've got some good drivers out there, between myself, Todd Mule and the Sprint Cars, a couple of the Speedway people. And freshly joined is Jordan Sanderson in the Mustang. So we've got a bit of Mustang merch out there on the website now as well. So that's good to see.
Yeah, awesome.
As well
I think
as-
I'll have to head over there and cop some myself, eh?
That's it. As well as Zoo Performance, been a great sponsor of the drift side of things for quite a while now, getting into some other motorsports as well with some performance parts. Everything from axles to intakes, throttle bodies, all of that kind of stuff. Or turbos now even as well. So fuel systems they've been doing for quite some time. So good selection of some quality parts out there. So nice to see some support for even the online stuff as well as a real world.
Yeah, that's great. Great to see some sponsors jumping on board and just trying to overall grow the drifting and help everyone out. Yeah, it's great to see. And wonder how these guys are going during practice. They've had about 50 minutes or so. So hopefully shortly we'll jump into a line map with one of the judges, and we'll walk you guys through what they'll be expected to do.
Yeah, that's it. It's a pretty weird little track to drive. Have you got much laps on it, Quinton?
Oh man, I think I've done 100 or so myself, and yeah, there's definitely a couple of tricky points there. Just that entry being the main one, setting yourself up for the rest of the track, and the little hump coming into the second outer zone. That's going to be a place to watch out for. What about yourself?
Yeah, I've done quite a few laps on this one. Mark and I frequently drive it, so we've got it down pat so far. And yeah, normally presents some great battles. But it looks like we've got the judges ready to roll to run through a quick debrief of what's going on with this layout and the specifics that they want to see. So what we'll do, we'll get Mark to pop them through. When you're ready, Mark.
All right. What me and Luke want to see as judges is aggression and constant angle everywhere. This isn't your average church picnic sim comp. We want to see some cool stuff. First corner, nice weight transfer of some kind, ideally. No handbrake pulls, none of that. Get in there, big angle, show off a little bit. Not going to be too harsh on coming out of the first zone early, as that really promotes going into the second zone as deep and early as possible. Big angle all the way out to the wall before coming into the inner clip there. Want to see it all nice and tidy, no wavering, committed. That's the ideal line. Same with the green line following into the little decel area into the last zone. Big snap to lock. No slow handbrake drags. Want to see some cool stuff. Big snap to lock. All the way out to the wall, coming across the last zone. And as a chase driver, that's easy. Get on their door. Don't want to see anything too far away. You got to sacrifice a little line, whatever. But yeah, just try and mimic what the lead car's doing. We're going to have a good time here.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Pat, for that. So, yeah, it's pretty much as basic as it is. Fill out all the zones. Obviously, you've only got those 2 or 3 really decel zones, but those orange areas, you just want to be not getting on the anchors too hard, but you're expected to slow down just a little bit in that lead position to set you up nice and good for that next outer zone.
Yeah, it's a pretty forgiving layout as far as the technical aspect, but as far as getting it right 100% of the time, I think that's where we're going to see these guys shine tonight.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be looking for the consistency in those lead runs. We want to give the chase drivers all of the opportunity to put down a good chase run and something interesting to really watch.
Yeah, it's normally when the battles start up, I think tonight is where it's going to really fire up as far as the visual aspect of this particular layout. It's a bit of an interesting one to run solo runs on. It's as we're seeing out there now, it can be a bit of chaos here and there with getting around the track because, yeah, there's a few complexities there when you start playing with the walls. But if you keep it off the walls, hey, you're normally in for a pretty good time.
Yeah, for sure. As you watch those guys finish that little run right there, and yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see these guys how they handle the track, how they handle all the bumps and the pressure as well. Talking to some of these guys, they're starting to feel the pressure already, just knowing you have to perform. Looks like it's that Will Argoon putting on a pretty good lead right there.
Yeah, the big G himself, Alex, doing a pretty good job in the chase there. Nice to see some matching colored cars running, but you know, it's you gotta really play your cards right out there. All right, as we see it practice, with only a couple of minutes left here to go for this one, I will see them slowly start to filter through here. Looks like we got Aaron out there as well in the chase now. Ooh, got a bit caught up in the transition there. Chase car got a bit greedy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. These guys, especially in the chase position, you're really trying to push. You got to be right on it for the transition because yeah, there's sometimes not a lot of room to play with there.
Yeah, that's it. And being in the simulator, there's not quite 100% of the natural feel that you get in the real car. That the depth perception isn't quite the same. So you really got to know the corners of your car and where you're sitting. That's for sure. Looks like the boys are slowly trickling the last couple of minutes of practice there, but Christian, with your sim driving that you've done so far, what kind of equipment are you playing with? What sim setup have you currently got?
Man, I'll be honest, man. Nothing too crazy. Couple of parts off eBay, that's for sure. But no, I've got a Thrustmaster TS300. The pedals to go with it. A simple chair, but you know it does the job, man. It's nothing compared to a direct drive, of course, but that's all you need to get going and get started.
Yeah, that's it. Now the T300 seems to be a really good starting point. That's for sure. I've moved my way up to a Moza R9 direct drive. That's my current toy, and pretty nice rig setup. As I do a lot of laps. I think I'm up to three and a half, probably closer to 4,000 hours in the sim now. So I do a ton of laps prior to every drift event, just to get those points in, get the consistency, get my head in the game, muscle memory, everything. That's a really great tool that I find to kind of familiarize yourself with a layout.
Yeah, for sure. And so all these guys are doing a really good job making the actual tracks to a realistic standard, and you know putting the outer zones in the same places. And it's good that as a sim driver you get to practice on these tracks before you go and drive it in real life. So a big shout out to all the guys that put all that work in there to create these tracks for us.
You know, there's some good tracks. Even our homegrown Calder down here in Victoria is now created in the sim, and boy, have I got some laps on that layout.
Yeah, we all have, that's for sure.
Yep, no, that's it. And yeah, even then, when you go on to travel, I know prior to my first time going to Queensland Raceway, I think I did close to 800 laps prior to that event, and yeah, really dial it in. Managed to qualify first at a track that I'd never been to, so it's got something behind it saying that it does the job. That's for sure.
Yeah, nice. 800 laps. That's definitely a fair few laps. I can relate with you quite a bit on that one though. I just put my car together and I did a shakedown at Winton Raceway, and yeah, I got on the sim with the boys and we had a few laps and it was good. Went out there and I felt right at home. It was really good actually.
Yeah, that's it. Because car-wise, what are you driving at the moment?
Oh man, AU Drift Society supported, that's for sure, and AU Falcon. Yeah, so got a nice paint job on that and just some minor suspension stuff, but yeah, it handles pretty good, really. What about
Yeah.
yourself?
Yeah, so I drive the Shop ADV C6 Corvette. Yeah, nice little carbon Kevlar bodied rig. It's pretty powerful at the moment. We're running the 434 cubic inch carbide dart block motor, and yeah, really nice trick bit of gear. So we've been running that for coming up on 3 years now. So it's done pretty good so far in the last couple of years as far as position goes. We've had a few ups and downs and all arounds with it, but we've started to figure it out.
Yeah, I think I've gone to Calder Park a few times, and I think I've seen you out there, man. You really know how to throw that thing down, putting it all up against the wall, and it sounds really good too.
Yeah, no, it's definitely the kind of car that lets you drive to your capability. The car's not holding you back. That's a for sure factor.
Yeah, it must be insane to feel all that power just at the touch of a pedal. What sort of cars do you run on Assetto Corsa to help you train for driving a car like that?
Yeah, so I mostly actually drive the VDC Corvette. That's generally my go-to for practice. As far as power, grip, and the overall feel of the car, it's pretty comparable as far as driving experience. So yeah, that's my go-to for that one.
All right, guys, we're going to be coming into just a short break here, just for the admins to get everything set up, and then next we'll be going into our first qualifying runs.
We'll be back shortly, so hang on. in a little bit towards the end of the clipping zone there. Interesting run here. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it was good. I think he had good angle, but it just seemed like he struggled just a little bit to hold the angle through the entire outer zone. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can bet out his first run and what his score will be.
Yeah, I'm interested to see kind of what the dynamic is going to end up being like as far as our low qualifiers and our high qualifiers, and see if there's much of a split between each end of the scale here and see kind of where we're sitting.
Yeah, for sure. And also, these judges, they don't have too much judging experience, so it will be their first time. So cut them just a little bit of slack, but it's gonna be good. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's as two drivers though, I do respect their decisions and making sure that they're making fair calls and putting out good points for everyone. So we'll see that second score drop in just a moment. Looks like he did do a bit better there, Quinton.
Yeah, for sure. Aaron Bozer with a 74 point for his second run.
Yes, that's setting the bar out there. 74 out of 100. Not too bad. Pretty reasonable runs as well. A few areas where we can tidy up, but it'd be interesting to see how we kind of flow on throughout the qualifying session today as to where everyone kind of sits. All right, looks like we've got our next driver coming out now, the Big G, Alex, coming out here in the S15, putting it midline there in the first corner, sweeping into the second corner. Not too much deceleration. And it's sitting right in the middle of the box there as we come around to the inside clipping zone. Throws in the last corner. Pretty respectful. Looks like he was filling in a few areas that our previous competitor didn't quite get into. But what did you think of that one, Quinton?
Overall, I think it was a really well put together run by Alex. Definitely a few areas where he could have been a little bit deeper, but for the first qualifying run, I think it was quite solid. So let's see what the judges have to say about that.
Yeah, I have a feeling we're going to have a new top qualifier so far. We're only 2 in, but let's see these scores pop in.
Right, Alex is going to be going in for his second qualifying run now as he flicks it into that first outer zone all the way on the line. Awesome job by Alex as he transitions into that second outer, going a little bit deeper. That's exactly what he needed to do, coming nice and wide to that wall there as he transitions into that last outer zone. Definitely a little bit deeper, but overall, I think that was a better second run there by Alex.
Yeah, look, there were definitely a few standout moments there. That first outside zone, he was on the outside line. That was a perler. But if we could have taken the best parts of the first run and the second run, put them together, I think we would have been right up there in the 90s. So we'll see what the next score is. Comes through now. Looks like we're sitting at 85 points for Alex G, currently leading our qualifying run so far. Pretty solid runs there, Quinton.
Yeah, very solid indeed. Definitely pushing close to that 90-point run that we do want to see. We'll have our next qualifier coming up shortly.
Yeah, looks like we've got Ben Snell coming up next in the yellow 33 Skyline, I believe that is. Just sitting there waiting for the details to refresh so we can send them again.
For sure. Here he goes through the chicane, getting all that speed, all that momentum into that first outer zone, throwing it 90 degrees, almost backwards into that first outer zone, doing an awesome job to fill that right on the line. He does the same with the second outer zone, doing an awesome job to fill it. As he comes over, just tagging that inner clip, perfect line all the way into that last. Oh, tags the wall, just upsetting the car. That's going to be unfortunately, a heavy deduction from Ben Snell.
Yeah, there was definitely no lack of excitement there on that one. So Ben Snell coming from South Australia. He's been a Drift SA driver for quite a few years now. He's been running the Commodores and is finding himself in a Lexus these days. So, yeah, he definitely has that Stewie Bryant finesse to getting around the track. There was no holding back.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a jump to go from Commodore into the Lexus there as the judges put in their score. Let's see what they put in for his first run. Obviously, remembering that there is unfortunately going to be a heavy deduction for tagging that wall and losing angle there.
Yeah, but with the level of excitement that he was holding throughout that run, I put him pretty high up in the points.
Ben
And we
Snell with a
see-
41-point run for his first run as he comes into his second qualifying run. Let's see if he can better that run. Throwing in a little bit softer, a little bit shallow of an entry there on that first outer zone. Must be a little bit shaken from the first one, but he does a good job, good angle, good line on that second outer zone, hitting that inner clip just nicely.
coming
And he
around
does a
into the
great
last-
job there on that last outer zone this time.
Yeah, no, after the 41-point run, he definitely wanted to put himself in a better position there. Really good to see him dialing it back to that 80%. You know, the SA drivers are normally 100 or 110% driver effort, but kept it pretty safe, kept it pretty clean out there. So we should see some good numbers from this run.
Yeah, for sure. After a first run like that, your second run really needs to be a little bit conservative because you want to get some points on the board. If you go too crazy and you end up um, having another low point run, but Ben Snell with a 91 for his second run.
90 points, that is right where you want to be, right at the pointy end. He kept it a little bit tamer, but he still made sure he got all those points. So really good to see our first SA driver of the night out there putting on a good show for us.
Yeah, it's good to see him pull it back together after that first run there. So awesome. We have our first driver into the 90 point. Up next, we have HSK going up for his first qualifying run as he pulls up to the chicane.
Yeah, old HSK, I have plenty of laps with him over with the Doorbashers group. He is a chase man, but he also is known for putting down one hell of a lead. So the old 33 Skyline is his weapon of choice tonight. Quite common to see him out in that, but let's see how we go with this run, Quinton.
Yeah, definitely a softer initiation, but he does a good job to fill that outer zone. And coming into that second, just a little bit of contact onto the wall, unfortunately, just offsets the line a little bit. But he does a good job to get out to that wall, into the last outer zone. Oh, putting it back on the wall again. Really pushing deep for his first run.
Yeah, finding the edges is probably a good time to do it on your first qualifying run, where you're kind of just setting it out, seeing where you are, giving yourself the best opportunity that you can to get some points on the board at least. But second run seems to be where it's at tonight. So far, we've seen quite a trend of people going a little bit too hard on run one, but making up for it in run two. But talking about run two, here we go.
HSK coming in for his second run. Let's see if he can better the first one. All the way on the outside line of that second outer zone, does a beautiful job there. Could have been a tiny bit closer to the wall, but overall pretty good as he comes in a little bit too hot and tags the wall, causing him to do a bit of a 360 there, HSK.
That's not quite what we want to see from the HSK man himself. But look, run one came in at 50 points. Run two, zeros all around for that one. So we'll see him at the back of the bus so far for this qualifying session.
All right, up next we have Harry Whitehead. He'll be coming up to the chicane shortly for his first run. And interesting to see how he does.
Yeah, I haven't seen Harry drive before. So tonight is driving the RB30 S15 Sylvia. I can tell by the big wing on the back of that car. Really, really nice looking rig.
Big wing definitely makes it look official. As Harry comes into that first outer zone, not too much of a mungie, does a decent job, maybe running a midline through that first outer zone, but definitely nice and deep in that second outer, holding good angle, good commitment as he comes through that inner clip into the last outer zone. Let's see if he can hold it together with a beautiful run on the wall for his last outer zone.
Yeah, and that's a pretty wild car to drive, that one. It's more commonly known as one of the harder drives out of the VDC pack to steer around. So the fact that he put out there and put one hell of a lap on goes to show that he's got his beans together out there.
Yeah, for sure. A difficult car on a track with difficult conditions. I'm interested to see what he's going to get because he was quite deep in a few of those zones and good commitment as it comes in with an 80 points for his first run. Not too bad there by Harry.
Yeah, we got a little bit of room to make up here, but we'll see how he goes in his second qualifying run as he comes into the first corner. Not too deep all the way out to the line on the second corner, though. This is right where we want to see him. Not too much wavering, which is good. Into the inside zone, 1 corner to go. Throws it out wide, runs a rear bar along the wall, keeps it on the yellow line all the way around to the exit of the corner. That's what we want to see from a qualifying run.
Yeah, that was a great run there by Harry. You can tell he's just he's trying to keep it nice and tame on the entry, but you got to remember that entry is going to set you up well for the rest of the track. So sometimes being a little bit more tame, and you can gain the points elsewhere. And it'd be interesting to see what the judges give him. Second run, 95-point run by Harry White. Great job there.
Yeah, there we go. Straight to the top of our qualifying order so far. So it drops a few of the boys back, but great to see Harry out there strutting his stuff with the 95. That's killer to see.
Awesome to see indeed. All right, and up next we have Jack Botting coming into that first outer zone, throwing it in nice, maybe running a mid line there. Does a pretty good job, straight to angle, but unfortunately enters in just a little bit shallow there. Does a pretty good job filling the rest of that outer zone, that inner clip as well. Nice and close to the wall there on that last outer zone by Jack Botting.
Yeah, young Jack is a Darwin drifter. Yeah, a little 1JZS13 up there, and great to see him out here in the sim world. I know he's been doing a few of the OzDC drift events as well over the last couple of months, and he's starting to get the hang of the drift competitions on the sim.
Yeah, for sure. It looks like he put together a pretty solid first run there.
Yeah, we'll have to do a little bit of tidying up there with a few bits and bobs, but he put a pretty reasonable score on the board as we see the judges put through a 78-point qualifying run there for him.
Yeah, very nice. All right, Jack Botting is going to come up for his second qualifying run, throwing it nice and big. A lot of angle and commitment coming into that first zone, and the second as well. A little bit of wavering, but he holds it nice and steady on the outside line for that second zone as he transitions into the last zone here.
Yeah, there was a few
Nice.
ooh-ah moments there in that one. Coming into the second corner, he put on a ton of angle. And yeah, you had to hold your breath on that one as he thankfully pulled it through and continued out throughout the rest of the run, but turned up the level of excitement on that one, Quinton.
Yeah, that's for sure. Coming into that first outer zone, that was quite dicey there. So Jack Botting with an 87 for his second run there. So not too bad, creeping into the 90s. Puts him in a pretty good position, I think.
Yeah, third place so far in qualifying. So Jack right where he wants to be. Good enough points there to carry him into the top 16 later on.
For sure. Up next for our seventh qualifier of this evening is Jaden Dubbin for his first qualifying run. Here he comes through the chicane, trying not to touch those cones.
Yeah, the Mustang man's out there throwing it into the first corner nice and wide as we transition into turn number 2. Slowed up a little bit coming into that zone, but puts himself in a nice place to run through outer zone 2. Coming into the inside clip, flicks it in the last corner. Nice arc there, right out wide. Pulls in a little bit off the edge of the corner as we came through the finish line, but respectful run there.
Yeah, that was a nice run by Jaden. That was definitely some hairy moments. I thought he was going to tag the wall a little bit there, but he managed to pull it off. He managed to keep it in the zone. And Jaden Dubbin's first run is going to be an 84-point run.
Yeah, that puts him in a pretty good spot so far, but run number 2 coming out. Let's go, Quinton.
Let's go as he flicks it into that first corner. Not as deep as his first run. Definitely not too bad, though. Coming into that second outer zone, really putting it on the edge of the track there. Doing a great job, just barely missing that wall there as he transitions into the second outer. Does a good job. Could have been slightly deeper in that zone. It seems like he was just playing it safe there, not going too crazy.
Yeah, and that last outer clip, he was certainly being a bit conservative. I know that car's very big to muscle around this tight little track. So I think it would have been a case of being a bit wall shy there, trying to make sure he does finish off the run. But looks like he's bettered himself off in the second run.
Yeah, bettered himself off, that's for sure, with an 88-point run for his second run. Definitely does a good job there. All right, up next we have the one and only Jamie Stevkovsky coming in for his first qualifying run. Let's see how he does.
Yeah, if we're looking at boss levels as far as AU goes, this is the big man. This is the one you want to watch out for.
For sure, as he comes into that first outer zone, putting on a lot of angle, does a good job to fill that zone. As he comes in just a little bit too late there, tagging the wall, Jamie Stevkovsky.
That's not what we want to see. Didn't finish the runoff there, but strong entry into the first corner. But second entry caught him out there, unfortunately, with that one. Yeah, that wall comes up to you very, very fast. So unfortunately, we may see that a few times tonight. People getting into the wall on the second outside zone.
Yeah, it's definitely a tricky zone to get into. You have to be in it nice and early. Unfortunately, Jamie with a 0 for his first run, but he is going to get another chance with his second run. Let's see how he manages to pull this one together. Jamie Stevkovsky, Age of Society represented, throwing again nice and hard into that first outer zone, almost going backwards. Transitioning, does a good job on this outer zone as well, not tagging that wall. Shallowing up just a little bit in the middle of that zone as he transitions into that last outer, filling that zone, doing a good job, not too close to the wall, but definitely good enough to put some points on the board.
Looks like he knew he really needed to pull one out of the bag that run. Turned it up to level 10 and just absolutely sent it. That first corner was wild. I thought there was a slim chance he was getting through there, but it looks like he made it through just fine.
Yeah, he thought to himself, conservative run, what's that? Never heard of it. As he puts a 85, I think it was, 85 on the board by Jamie Stevkovsky. Up next, we have Jerome Chung with his first qualifying run.
Another AU man, old 7JC, is been sporting AUs as well. Got himself into a BMW now, but let's see how he goes out there in the Toyota Chaser.
Yeah, flicks it in. Nice entry all the way on that line. I don't think you could be any deeper into that first outer. A little bit of wavering, struggling to get into that second outer, but he does a good job to hold the rest of the run together. Could have been a little bit closer to that inner clip, but overall, nice midline through that last outer zone.
Yeah, certainly those first run feelers out there just trying to make sure he can get all of the points. Looks like we've got a little bit left in the bag for the next run. Hopefully we can see some JC check out there. All right.
Yeah,
looks like
let's see how he goes. He's got an 84 points for his first run, so definitely not too bad by JC there. Let's see if he can try and better that in his second run. Comes in with a little bit of hesitation, but overall does a good job to fill that outer zone. Nice and on the wall for that next outer zone there, right in that line, the entire outer zone. That's great to see from JC coming into that next outer zone. Looks like he might have just barely tagged that wall, but that looks like a pretty near perfect run by JC.
Yeah, until that last corner, that was a stout run. I think that would have been up there with that 90 in the 95 that we've seen earlier, but that wall tag in the last corner, that hurt to see. He was on a perler of a run.
Yeah, 100%. I know from talking to the judges, they do want to see you get on the wall as long as it doesn't upset your line too much. So JC with an 87-point run for his second run. Not bad by JC. Up next, we have Joey Leifning up for his first qualifying run. See how he goes.
Yeah, I haven't seen Joey drive before, but he's out there. Let's see him throw it into the first corner. Nice and wide as we see him come through there. Transition a little bit shallow on the inside of that transition there, but gets himself right back out to the outside zone there. Kind of feeling it good. Hits the inside clip. Oh, a bit too much going into the last corner.
Yeah, definitely a little bit too much sauce coming into that last outer zone. Otherwise, would have been fairly solid. So that's unfortunately going to be a 0 for Joey's first run. Let's see if he can better that for his second run.
Yeah, there was plenty there to work with. We'll just see him tidy up this next run and hopefully get ourselves into the mid 80s.
Yeah, as he comes into that first outer zone, a little bit shallower there on that entry as he comes over into the second outer, has to take some angle out. Looks like he was getting a little bit close to that wall there. He does a good job filling the rest of the zone. Coming into that last outer zone, a little bit shallow, tags the wall a little bit. Um, Definitely not what Joey was expecting out of that run.
Yeah, look, I think it'll get him some points on the board at least to keep him in that top 16 stack. But yeah, look, there was a few times there where we were hoping for a little bit better there. He certainly seems to have the potential in other areas, but yeah, I think the run was pretty well done by that second zone when we see him pull up to avoid the wall. All right, looks like we're getting our drivers restacked to continue on with the qualifying session.
All right, up next, another AU Drift Society represented Kane Nash up for his first qualifying run, carefully sneaking through those chicanes there. Nice big flick into that first outer zone, filling that zone quite nicely early. Nice and perfect run, actually, perfect entry into that first outer zone. Plenty of angle to fill that zone too as he comes close to the wall, tagging that inner clip a little bit closer, could have been a little bit closer there. Overall, Kane does a really good job actually for that whole run, I think.
Yeah, I think this is kind of the run that we need to keep the judges in check for. Yeah, no, Mark, there's not 10 billion point run for that one, but boy, it was up there. But we got to make sure they're still scoring fine. But yeah, I think we're going to have some pretty good numbers come through on this one.
Kane with a 96-point run, putting him in the first place qualifying. Let's see if he can get any better than a 96. This has got to be an all-out baller run from Kane as he tags the wall on that first entry, unfortunately. But still, an 86-point run. That's 96, my bad. 96-point run for his first run. That's pretty good.
Yeah, he was ready to put it on the trailer after that first run. That was as good as it was going to get for Kane. But great to see one of the AU boys putting it on the top step so far in qualifying.
Yeah, I think after tagging the wall on the first one, he might have to put it on the trailer for some repairs. All right, up next for his first qualifying run, we have Noah Diprose, also AU Drift Society represented. Interesting to see how Noah goes under the pressure, of course.
Yeah, Noah's
into
also quite new into drifting, but running the S15 out there now. Nice and wide through the first corner, but a little bit adjusting through that second entry, but keeps it pretty stable throughout the zone. But we've seen a few adjustments here as we come into the last corner, get that mid to shallow line and finishes up. A little bit left desired after that one, Quinton.
Yeah, it looks like he was just having a little bit of trouble getting that car in the angle, in the zone. Ideally, you just want to set it and forget it. You want to get right to angle and you want to drive through the rest of that corner. But he doesn't do too bad of a job actually on his first run with a 79 point. Let's see if he can better that on his second run. He comes through there, all guns blazing, foot to the floor as he flicks it into that first outer zone. Plenty of angle, does a really good job actually coming into that second outer zone. Slight bit of wobbling, but not too bad. Honestly, holding good angle. He comes close to that wall, tagging that inner clip perfectly into that second outer. Oh, almost just a little bit too much angle. Looks like he come out of the zone early there, unfortunately.
Yeah, it looks like he was setting the bar a lot high with that one. For the first 3/4 of the run, the level of excitement was much higher than what we'd seen from that first run. A lot cleaner until that last corner where we just missed out. So if we had kept it tidy, I think we were in for a big number there. But what numbers have we got coming through for this one?
Yeah, he still manages to pull it together with an 84 point for his second run there. So good job by Noah. And up next we have the Robin Norris coming up for his run.
Yeah, one of the low and slow, pretty looking car driving fellas out there in the JZX 100.
Yeah, the JZ, that's definitely my preferred car of choice as he comes into that first outer zone, filling it quite nicely and doing the same in the second too. Could be a little bit deeper, but does a fairly good job getting close to that wall, transitioning into that next as he adds just a little bit too much angle, almost the same as Noah actually. Must be on a copy line.
Yeah, look, I'll give you the hot tip. There's no oil down on the track. There's no water in that last corner. We're in the sim. We're not in the real life for this one, but we got to clean it up there, Robin. We'll get a better score next time round, but 61 on the board after the first run.
Yeah, 61 on the board. He's definitely going to be looking to be conservative, but also push that number just a little bit higher. Ozzy, big entry into that first outer zone, almost 90 degrees there as he comes into that second outer a little bit early, I think. Maybe added a little bit too much angle there. Not too sure, but unfortunately misses that outer zone. Misses the inner clip too. Robin does, and does a pretty good job to fill that last outer zone, but will it be enough?
Yeah, look, unfortunately, I think on this one, we're not going to be the lowest qualifier so far, but yeah, look, that wasn't the greatest pair of runs that we've seen so far today, but still, we've got numbers on the board. We've got a good starting point to work with. And at the end of the day, there's 16 drivers and we're going into a top 16. So no matter what, everyone gets a battle here tonight.
Yeah, everyone's going to get a chance. Everyone's going to get a battle, that's for sure. His second run, unfortunately, with a 39 points. So his first run is going to be his best run. Up next, for their first qualifying run, we have Smisky. Smisky,
Yeah.
how did he go?
Yes, Miski, traditionally a photographer down here at Calder Park, but trading it in for the wheel tonight, running the SR S13.
Oh, he struggles to get it into that first corner. I wonder what happened there. Maybe he missed the handbrake. Not too sure. He does a good job in that second outer. A lot of angle through there, that's for sure. Could have been a little bit closer to that wall, as we do want the drivers all the way over to that wall. Good job. Left a little bit early, as we have some shakiness from the the drone camera there.
The joys of running content manager. Yeah, the cameras do time out after a certain period of time, so we'll get that reloaded. We'll get that back in. But Schmishki, he hasn't done his first drift event in real life. He's building himself a Falcon Ute to go out there and learn to drift with, trading the camera in for the car. So it'll be good to see him out there playing with the real world drifting shortly.
Yeah, either way, it's good to see you. It's good to see more drivers in the community, growing the community, of course, coming out, giving it a crack. And you photograph them all day. You thought, hey, let's give it a shot. And what a better place to start than on the sim?
Yeah, Smisky's a regular to drive with Mark and I, so good to see him out there in his first, I believe, first online competition, but throwing it in for qualifying run number 2.
Number 2, he gets some angle going in that first outer zone. Unfortunately, he was a little bit shallow. Does a good job in that second outer, almost clicking on a little bit too much there, upsetting his line. It's like he's struggling to keep the car sideways there, but comes in a little bit late into that last outer zone. Overall, holds it together.
Yeah, look, he got through the finish line there. He should get some points on the board for that one. I don't know if there was a complete straight in there, but yeah, look, we've got a 11 on the board there after that run, so he's got points. That's what we want to see. So he'll make his way into the top 16 tonight.
Yeah, unfortunately low, but he's definitely going to be in it still. Up next, we have Wes Hunt coming in for his first qualifying run. Wes Hunt coming through the chicane, sideways, all the throttle. Big commitment into that first outer zone as he pretty much throws it backwards. Unfortunately, left it just a little bit early as he struggles to get into the start of that second outer zone. Does a pretty good job to hold angle, hold the commitment through there, coming through the inner clip into the last outer zone, all up against the wall. That would look like a perfect last outer zone there by Wes Hunt.
Yeah, look, there was definitely no safe first qualifying run on that one. He threw it in hard and fast and certainly stood up for the rest of the layout as well, trying to get every bit of points that he can out of that one. So it'll be interesting to see if, like earlier, we see a trend of what exciting and wild first run, but the points coming home in the second run.
Yeah, Wes Hunt with a 64 for his first run. All right, he's going to come into his second qualifying run looking to better that. A little bit shallow on that first entry, unfortunately, as he comes in almost backwards into the second outer, upsetting his line as he goes 1, 2, 3 wheels off track. And he's going to finish out this run, I think. Tagging the wall. He's out there. He's having a good time.
Yep, no, he was done as far as points were going, but the wall sent him home. That's for sure.
Yeah, that wall can be pretty brutal sometimes. Up next, we have Will Argoon coming in for his first qualifying run. Let's see if he can hold it together.
The best car on grid, a C6 Corvette, as we throw it into turn number 1, midline there through the outer zone as we come through to the second corner now. Enters a little bit shallow. We see a little bit of bobbling there going from deep to midline as we come through the inside clip. Nice angle through that one, throwing it into the last corner. Again, very, very good line there as we finish qualifying run number 1 off for Will.
Yeah, definitely a good line from Will. Good angle too. He's got a couple of things to clean up, and let's see if he can manage to do so on his second run.
Well, he's in the right car to do a 100-pointer, isn't he?
Oh, 100%. Everyone loves loves a Corvette. Hey.
All right, we see these scores coming through. Looks like it's an 87 for qualifying run number 1 for Will. Let's see if we can top that for run number 2.
Yeah, I want to see him push nice and deep on this second run. He's got all the room to play with as he throws it in nice and big on that first outer zone, coming in perfectly into that second outer, just riding the line there. Will Argoon doing a great job as he comes into that inner clip, transitioning over big angle into that last outer zone, holding it nicely. He definitely cleaned up those couple of mistakes from the first run.
That was a killer lap. That'll put him at the top end of points I'm picking for that one. There was only a few little areas that I could pick on for him. There's a couple outer zones where he came in a bit late or came out a bit early, but we'll see as the points trickle in just a moment to see where Will really sits with that one.
Yeah, that's it. Will Argoon with a 93 for his second run. And as you can see, the ranks on the board. Kane Nash with a 96 points for his qualifying. Up there, we have Harry White with a 95. Will Argoon with that 93-point run that we just seen there.
Yeah, then we go down to Ben Snell in 4th position there with a 90-point qualifying run. Over to 5th position, we have Jaden Dubin with an 88 points. Onto 6th position, we've got Jack Botting with an 87 and equal points with Jerome Chung, old JC, with 87 as well.
Coming in 8th position, Alex Guvia, hope I'm pronouncing that right, with an 85. Jamie Stevkovsky sitting pretty halfway, another 85. And looks like we'll be having a short break, I think. Short break after practice, get a few things sorted, and then we'll jump straight into the top 16, where these drivers are going to battle it out.
Yeah, as we go through the rest of our points here, we've got Noah Diprose with an 84 in 10th position, 11th going to Aaron Boswell. Then we've got 74 points for him. 12th position is Wes Hunt with a 64. 13th position going to Robin Norris with a 61. Down in 14th position, we've got HSK and Joey Leifing in 15th position with 11 points. And then the back of the bus, the photography man, Smisky, rounding us out for qualifying here tonight. All right, looks like we'll have battles coming to us shortly. So, Quinton, out of the qualifying runs that we've seen there tonight, you think things look pretty promising so far?
Yeah, so far we definitely seen some shaky runs out there, but we definitely seen some really good runs out there as well. Watching Kane, I'm not surprised he's the top qualifier. He's always got a nasty entry in there. And yeah, hopefully we've got a nice stack up between these guys and we see some interesting battles tonight. And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, I think.
Yeah, there were some really promising runs out there. One that I really liked to see was Ben Snell's run. That was a pearl out there in the yellow 33 Skyline. I'm interested to see how he goes in battles. I know over in SA, he does pretty well for himself as far as battles go. So I think we got a pretty good bet of seeing him towards the pointy end later on tonight. All right, as we get our first batch of battle tree coming through. So the top 16 on our left side of the bracket tonight. We'll start with Kane Nash and Smisky out there as our first battle. Second battle, we're looking at the big G, Alex, against Jamie Oski. I can't pronounce his surname either, so we'll just run with that. Then we've got Ben Snell and Robin Norris as our third battle. And then Jack Dubbin and Wes Hunt rounding out our left side of the battle tree. Now, Quinton, who have we got on the right side tonight?
On the right side for our battles, top 16, we have Harry Whitehead and Joey Leifting, I think it is, up for their battle. So interesting to see how those guys put together their runs. Up next, we have JC or Jerome Chung and Noah Diprose. That's going to be an interesting one. AE Drift Society versus AE Drift Society. After that, we will have Will Argoon and HSK. Also, HSK didn't qualify as high, but going to be an interesting battle, that's for sure. Up next, we have Jack Botting and Aaron Bosel for our last top 16 battle.
Yeah, that rounds out our battle tree, and looks like we've got some pretty good battles coming up here tonight. I think it's in the top 8 that we're going to start to see things start to really fire off with the battle tree finessing as we get towards the pointy end. But looks like we'll just run a quick couple of minutes of practice here, let the boys get their beans together and get some tandem practice before we get onto the competition.
Yeah, that sounds good. Keep these guys warm, keep these guys fired up, ready for their battles, so they can put on the best show that they can for everyone watching. And yeah, we'll take break for 5 or 10 minutes or so, and we'll see you guys back shortly.
Alrighty, it's almost that time to get into the battles here tonight for the first ever Friday Night Frenzies, brought to you by Shop ADV, Zoo Performance, AU Drift Society, and Atlantic Oils.
Yeah, a big thank you to our sponsors. Always, jumping on board and helping make this happen. And I believe we have our drivers making their way through their practice, finishing up their practice runs, that is, before we move into our top 16.
Yeah, this is the last chance for them to go out there, feel it out, get some tandem practice, and know where the limits are and get a feel for it. Alrighty, looks like they're getting into their positions as far as the first battles that we'll see here tonight.
Getting into the positions, looks like we have Kane Nash leading for our first battle.
Yeah, so this will be our number 1 qualifier and our 16th qualifier lining up side by side, ready to go.
Ready to rock and roll. Let's hopefully they put on a good show for all of us. Very interested to see how these guys go. Kane Nash representing AU Drift Society.
And Schmishki representing the photographers of the drift world. So we'll see them go head to head for our first battle here tonight. Looks like
Just
we'll be
waiting for
releasing.
that. Waiting for that go from the judges. Will they start their battle? As they take off through the chicane there, Kane Nash in the lead, giving chase is Smirsky as Kane enters nice and big into that first outer zone. Smirsky just falling behind a little bit, struggling to keep up. He's going to have a big catch-up line here. Kane doing an awesome job to fill that outer zone. All of the angle definitely gives Smirsky the opportunity, but unfortunately he's left in the smoke a little bit. Yeah, that was definitely a good lead run by Nash there.
Yeah, it looks like he wasn't holding back too much. I know sometimes when the top qualifier goes against the bottom, they can be tempted to dial it back a little bit, but it doesn't look like Kane dialed it back much at all. As comparison to his qualifying run, he was still out there hitting all the points, but we'll see how we go when we turn it around with Smirsky leading us out now.
Smirsky in the lead. This time, Kane is chasing with a nice entry by Smirsky into that first outer zone. Kane giving him no room, getting onto that door. Little bobble there by Smirsky on the entry to that next outer zone. As they come through that inner clip. Kane doing a good job, staying back, staying nice and conservative for that run. He knows he might have it in the bag here. He's he's there. He's in the competition. So.
Yeah, look, there was reasonable proximity, and Kane did what he had to do to follow that one. Smirsky wasn't quite running the ideal line, but still kept it together and put out a decent lead run there for Kane to follow around. But I have a pretty good bet as to who's going to take us into the first top 8. Looks like Kane Nash there filtering through as our first through to the top 8 here tonight.
Yeah, unfortunate for Smirsky. He's out there. He's trying. He did a good job in that lead position there, but unfortunately, he just had a little bit too much distance in that chase position for their first run. As we're going to have the next battle up shortly.
Yeah, looks like we've got 2 red cars lining up here so far, so we'll see the details update. Oh, look out. It's your mate.
This is going to be one to watch. I think the pressure is on between these two drivers. AU Drift Society representing Jamie Stevkovsky in the lead position. Alex giving chase as they enter into that first corner. Alex follows the line, could be a little bit deeper. Oh, he's struggling there, straining up a little bit. I wonder if that was fault of Jamie. Not too sure, but Jamie's doing a good lead run right there. Plenty of angles. He comes through to that last outer zone. Oh, Jamie's in the chase. My bad. My bad there.
Yeah, look, that was an interesting run. We'll give him that. Yeah, it looked like in the chase there we were we were struggling a little bit there with that line. I'm not too sure what happened between the first and the second corner there, whether there was contact or just a bit of a misjudgment of line there, but we'll turn them around and we'll put Jamie in the front here now, leading out Alex. Or is it the other way around? I think we got Alex in front now. Oh, no, sorry. Yes. Jamie's leading now. We had it the other way around. Here we go.
Jamie is leading this time with a big entry into that first outer zone. Unfortunately, he was a little bit shallow, possibly putting Alex off there through that transition. But he's doing a good job to hold that line through the second outer, getting close to the wall, tagging the inner clip. Alex reeling him in, sacrificing a little bit of angle and proximity to try and angle and line to keep that proximity there.
Yeah, so if we review both of these run here, Alex's lead was pretty solid. It looks like Jamie made a few little hiccups there throughout the run, but when we turned him around, look, I think Alex had him covered as far as that's concerned. So a pretty controversial take, I reckon, on that one. But yeah, I would put the boss man, Alex G, as going through to the top 8 as we see the details upload. And there he goes, Alex, our second driver into the top 8 here tonight.
Yeah, good run there by Alex. Unfortunately, Jamie Stevkovsky didn't quite have enough to battle it out, to keep it going into the top 8. But we're going to keep the battles flowing here. Up next is, who do we have? Ben Snell in the lead position.
Yeah, then we'll have Robin Norris in the chase there. Now, I'm keen to see this one, to see if Ben can put down a killer lead lap like he did in qualifying, but leaving the line, let's see how this pair goes.
Yeah, Ben flicks it in nice and deep, plenty of angle through that first outer zone. Robin definitely there, though, as he surges forwards, getting all over Ben's door. Ben doing a great job in that outer zone, coming through that inner clip there. Robin definitely holding good line, good angle, mimicking that lead position there. That's gonna be a tough one there for Ben.
What a chase by Robin there. That was pretty dicey out there. There was a few big jumps up onto the door, but I'll give it to him as we got a replay coming here of Ben throwing it nice and wide with big angle into that first corner. But see there, Robin jumping right up onto his door as we go into the second corner here. Robin not sacrificing too much line throughout the corner to maintain that proximity, but rolling into the last corner. Look, from these guys, I'd say it's a pretty even split after watching that one back. Solid lead, very aggressive chase by Robin. We'll have to see how we go when we turn it around for run number 2.
And turn it around we will. Now we have Robin in that lead position, giving chase. Here's Ben Snell. Let's see if Ben can put it on Robin's door this time. Robin comes through the chicane there, guns blazing, into that first outer zone, flicks it in. Ben falling back just a little bit, slightly offline. He's bit of contact on that transition there. Might have come in a little bit too hot, I think, there from Ben. But Robin and Ben are going to fill the rest of this run out.
Yeah, look, I'm not too sure what happened there in that one. We'll have to see if we can grab a peek at the replay. But yeah, it looks like Robin came in very hot, and I'm not too sure whether he deaccelerated quite heavily or whether Ben just tried to get up on his door a little bit too hard there, as we see that run through with Ben running wide, and it looks like Robin was running shallow, and it collided coming into the next clipping zone there.
Yeah, unfortunate there from Ben there, just coming a little bit too hot, maybe slightly offline, but overall good job from these drivers, and I think that's Robin with the win for that one.
As we see the results load through one more time, there it is, Robin Norris taking out the top 16 battle against Ben Snell. Unfortunate to see as Ben qualified really well, but had that bit of a doozy in the chase run.
All right, up for our next top 16 battle, we have Jaden Dublin in the lead position. Giving chase is Wes Hunt, as they sit at the line there waiting for the go. Off we go, Jaden through the chicane in that beautiful purple Mustang. Coming in, nice entry into that first outer zone. Could have been a little bit more aggressive on that flick, but definitely fills that zone as Wes Hunt tries to desperately catch up and close that proximity. Matching angle quite well, though, but Jaden definitely putting on a heater of a lead run, that's for sure. He comes into that last outer zone, all on the wall. But Wes just matches the angle quite well, but just the proximity was lacking just slightly there.
Yeah, as we come to the replay here, we'll see the Mighty Mustang out, leading into our first corner here, nice and wide, probably almost a tire off in that first corner there. But as we flick it around into the second corner, as you mentioned there, line was pretty good, but definitely sacrificed a bit of that proximity. We see him try to make it up on the transitions, but this will be an interesting one. I'm not too sure whether they're prioritizing the aggressiveness of the chase or the conciseness of getting the line right, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right, we're going to switch these guys around now. Wes Hunt's going to be in that lead position as he gets gapped just slightly there by Jaden, but Jaden going to have to close the gap there on Wes. Wes coming into that second outer zone just a little bit late there. Almost Jaden struggling to keep up in that Mustang. Wes doing a good. Oh, he tags the wall a little bit on the start of that outer zone, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate end to that lap, but yeah, look, it really was a saving grace for him as he was struggling to maintain the pace of that E46 BMW, which, contrary to the first run, we've seen that the Mustang take away from the BMW, but then when we reversed them, it was the same story. So interesting, but putting it into the wall will always put you on the trailer.
That's for sure. It's Jaden. Jaden takes the win for that one. And up next we have Harry versus Joey. This top 16 battle. Harry Whitehead in the lead position. Joey in the chase. As Harry comes through the chicane there. Nice entry into that outer zone, running a mid line there. Joey struggling for proximity as he's a late transition into that outer zone. Harry doing a nice job running a mid line, nice and safe, but he's definitely got a good line there. Nice angle there in the last outer zone as Joey just falling behind a little bit, struggling to keep up there.
Yeah, looked like a pretty solid lead run there from Harry out in the lead there. As we'll see the replay come through now, going through the start chicane, flicking it out to the wall. And yeah, the word I'd use to describe this run is safe, but still precise. So as we see him coming through the second corner, just the proximity there from Joey, not quite where we want to see it. Looks like he's trying to catch up in the old 33. That's S15 is generally quite a bit faster. Generally one of the faster cars that you'll see in the VDC servers. So interesting to see how we go when we turn him around. Is Harry going to be all over his door?
Yeah, he's going to have to put it there, that's for sure. Joey in the lead this time.
Yeah, as we see Harry get right onto the door of that purple 33 Skyline coming into the last corner, there is no leaving that S15 behind. Absolutely on his door. What a killer chase run there. But still, with every good chase run, there must be a good lead run. So Joey out there keeping the door open, keeping it a nice clean line there for Harry to chase him. But pretty sure who we're going to be sending home is Joey there for this battle.
Yeah, Harry gets the win there. Unfortunately for Joey, as Harry progresses on into the top 8. Up next, we have Jerome Chung, or JC, versing. We're just waiting for it to come up here.
Noah Dipro's out in
Noah
this one.
Dipro's in that lead position.
Alrighty, as we see them line up the battle of the AU Drift Society drivers, we'll see the mighty JZX100 leading us into the first corner here. JC holding a pretty steady midline there, not too much wavering as we come into zone number 2, but look at that chase driver. Noah Dipro's on his door as we see JC take off a little bit as we go through the inside clip, but Noah diving back up on the inside with keeping a good line still, so this will be a good one.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the replay between these two guys. JC definitely putting on a good lead run, but Noah was right there. Could have been a little bit better with his angle there, but definitely does a good job there. As JC, yeah, putting it right on the outside line, but Noah almost tagging him right there as he gets a little bit too much angle. We're going to switch these guys around now with Noah in the lead position. JC giving chase. That beautiful JZ.
Yeah, we'll see Noah come out here leading us away for the run number 2 of our top 16 battle with JC. As we come through the starting chicane there, flicking out to outside zone 1. Nice angle, good line as we transfer across into outside zone number 2, but a big stall as we come into that one with JC doing everything that he can to avoid contact, but then try and pick up that proximity again as coming through the last corner. JC's there. Looks like it was a bit messier than the first run, but still strong from these two drivers. As we look back at the replay, Noah Diprose out in front, JC following behind. Looks like it was pretty good proximity there from JC in the first corner, but with a stall up from Noah in that second outer zone, looks like JC got a little bit bottled up and didn't quite know where to go, so jumped on the anchors to avoid a collision. But overall, the rest of the run looks like JC could claw it back. I think he's going to be sitting pretty good with this one, so we'll see how the results go from these judges as they filter through. Of course, there's a bit of friendly competition between the AU Drifters Society fellas. We'll see these results pop through shortly for these two. Unless... oh, they're coming back to the start line, Quinton. I think we've got a rerun happening.
Yeah, it looks like it was a little bit too close for the judges to call there, so we're going to run these guys one more time so they can battle it out. And JC is going to be leading again for this next run. Noah's going to be giving chase. They're definitely going to have to give it all for this run.
Yeah, look, we got areas to tidy up all around the shop here for this one. So we'll see JC flicking it into corner number 1 right out on the outside zone, but Noah Diprose nice in the chase there. As we see him come into turn number 2, Noah sacrificing a bit of that line for the proximity, but JC out there looking strong. Noah with a big dive into the transition. Oh, Noah turns the angle on. A little bit too much hot sauce on that one. I think that was a 4 out of 5 chilies when we're looking at the Nando's menu.
That's for sure. I think he did a really good chase in that run there, but unfortunately just that last outer zone put on a little bit too much sauce. I think if it wasn't for that, he would have done a really good job. But JC putting on a great lead line as he comes through that inner clip. Noah right on his door, as you can see right there. He just looks like he throws a little bit too much angle there, unfortunately, for Noah.
Yeah, as we turn him around for our rerun of the top 16 this time around, we'll have Noah leading us away with JC in the chase. Now, with a bit of luck, we'll keep it at the same level of entertainment for this run. Let's see Noah go out there and top what JC just put down.
Noah putting in a nice entry in that first outer zone, coming away a little bit early, and JC looking to close that gap. He's definitely sacrificing a little bit of that angle for the proximity, but he's definitely right there. Noah coming through nice and steady by Noah, not throwing it in backwards into the last outer, but definitely just slightly tagging that wall there.
Yeah, look, these two certainly raised the level of that one. Great to see these AU Drift Society boys turning up the dial to 11 there, putting on a killer run. Now,
that was definitely an all-out war between those two.
Well, we got some results coming through.
And the results are in. JC takes the win. He will be advancing on into our top 8. Unfortunately for Noah, just didn't quite have enough to make it through.
Yeah, look, JC overall put out 2 great runs there, even after the rerun. He knew what he needed to fix up, and he presented well.
Definitely. Now, this is going to be a run that I am eager to see. Will Argoon versus HSK. Will Argoon in that lead position, that beautiful red Corvette, HSK giving chase. As Will Argoon puts a big scando into that first outside zone. running a midline there. HSK doing a good job to keep that proximity, matching the angle as Will Argoon goes nice and deep into the start of that second outer and fills the midline. A little bit of contact there from HSK. Lost a little bit of proximity from that, unfortunately. Will Argoon finishing off that run.
Yeah, look, it looked like there was a bit of frame droppage there. May have been a contributor to that one. As we see the replay come through now, Will Argoon's throwing it out nice and wide into the first corner. It comes out of the clip a little bit early there, but we see HSK drive right in onto almost his front wheel into the second zone. But here we see a little bit of a server issue, which pops HSK into a bit of a deficit there with the collision. But we'll see how we go on the second run. See if HSK can give us a killer lead.
Yeah, definitely going to be interesting seeing these guys turn it around with HSK in the lead position. They're going to have to drive hard for this one. HSK coming in, nice entry into that first outer zone, running midline out of that first outer into the second, putting it up against the wall as he tags it just slightly. Will Argoon doing a good job to stay with him, even though there was a little bit of unsettling there. The transitions in that last outside zone, Will Argoon putting it onto HSK's door. Definitely an exciting one from these guys.
What a drive by Will. Do you know, is Will Argoon the same guy that drives the black AU wagon?
I think it is. Yeah, I've seen him drive one time. I believe he's from SA. He's a very good driver, that guy.
Yeah, I think I've seen him at a Keep It Read event, but my God, he stepped it up there for that one going against HSK, who I would call a veteran sim driver. Has been on for a few years, but Will stepping it up in the C6 Corvette. That's exactly what I want to see from a fellow Corvette brother.
As we come into our tree.
Yeah, we've filled out the first half of our last top 8 battle with Will Argoon making his way through there, knocking out HSK. But lining up on the start line, we've got our last battle for the top 16 here tonight of the Friday Night Frenzy Drift competition.
In that last battle, we have Jack Botting giving our first lead with Aaron Bosell in the chase. See how these guys do. Jack Botting in that beautiful blue BMW, flicking in nice and big, just tagging that wall, sending him a little bit outside for that second outer zone, sorry. Aaron doing a good job to keep up with him, even through that first transition there. As he comes into the last one, Aaron trying to close that gap as Jack puts it on the wall right at the end there. Good job from Jack.
Yeah, look, Jack out there doing what he can do in that BMW. He's a pretty young fella. I think he's only 16 years old. So out there representing the young drift kids out there. But let's see how he goes in the chase run there following Aaron. Aaron didn't quite have the proximity that I wanted to see, but as we turn him around, let's see if Jack can match or better the chase.
Yeah, 16. He's definitely getting it in the young and getting in some training. I like it. Flipping these guys around. Aaron in the lead position now. Let's see what Jack has to offer in the chase. As Aaron comes in, small scando into that first outer zone, running a midline through there. A little bit of bobbling and wavering just in that start of the outer zone. Might have put Jack Botting off just a little bit. Now he's lost some of that proximity. He's going to try and gain it on this last corner as Aaron puts it up against the wall.
Yeah, it looks like there was a massive speed difference between these two cars here. Jack was certainly struggling to keep up with the pace of that BMW, but Aaron also taking a pretty evasive attitude towards his lead as we see a replay now. Aaron coming out to the outside zone, and we see a bit of a V line there going through the first half of the second zone. Yeah, it looks like Aaron was a man of speed in this run, not so much of technique, but look, it's an interesting one out there. Not a perfect lead, not a perfect chase in run 1 or run 2. So we'll see as the lineup updates here for our top 16 battle tree. And we'll see our winner from our final battle here. Alrighty, as the details come through. Looks like Aaron Boswell taking out the win there for that one. So looks like the speed paid into his favor, managing to get away from Jack and opening the gap, not allowing him to sustain that proximity. Wasn't the cleanest lead, so hopefully we'll see him improve that as we go into the top 8 shortly.
Yeah, definitely. Jack putting on a good show there for us, but unfortunately wasn't quite enough as Aaron comes into the top 8. And here we have the lineup for our top 8. First battle, we're going to have Kane Nash and Alex Gouvier. Up next, we'll have Robin Norris and Jaden Dubbin. Next battle will be Harry Whitehead and Jerome Chung, or JC as we call him. And the last battle will be our winner from the last round, Aaron Bossel and Will Argoon.
Yeah, there were a couple of pretty dicey battles there, but I think we should see the quality improve as we get through to the top 8. It was unfortunate to see a couple of these fellas drop out there throughout the battles so far, but hopefully we keep it nice and clean here for the top 8 and get some nice, real close door-to-door action happening.
Yeah, this top 8's going to be where it gets really interesting because yeah, we've working through the stragglers, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing some close battles and some door marks and some wall taps, and yeah, it's going to be good, I think.
Yeah, I think we might go a bit easy on the wall taps here so far, but certainly some door-to-door action will be good to see. So out of the battles so far, Quinton, how do you find that the track and these drivers are going? Is there any standouts or any points that you would like to see these guys work on?
Yeah, I think we've seen some really good entries, but we've also seen some people are struggling on that entry. It really, yeah, you got to watch that entry. Maybe running a mid to outer line and then into that second outer zone. You got to come in nice and early, give that chase driver all of the opportunity to get on your door.
Yeah, there was a few points there, especially I noticed with the transitions of this track. It seems to be one of not quite the win or loss moments, but it certainly sets you up for success. Alrighty, as we see the server potentially reset. Alrighty, just sorting out some technical issues here whilst we get our first round of the top 8 battles here lined up tonight. Looks like we're going to have HSK and Will Argoon taking us out for the first set of battles here. It's a pretty stacked lineup here for our top 8, so it'll be interesting to see how we go. Can't wait to see how these pairings line up. Now these two drivers here are, sorry, Kane Nash and Alex G will be our first battle. My bad. These two drivers won both of their first rounds of battles, and they were both sitting at the mid or higher points of the qualifying order here tonight. So both drifting in real life. Kane Nash driving an AU, and Alex G driving used to drive a 32 sedan, but as we release for our first pairing here. And there we go with Kane Nash leading us out for the first lap. Alex G chasing behind. All right, let's get the replay happening for this run. Kane Nash leading us away into turn number 1. Nice and big swing along the wall, running a pretty solid line there with Alex chasing behind. As we come into the second corner, Kane Nash running the outside line with Alex G sacrificing a little bit of line there, but certainly keeping his presence felt. Alrighty, looks like we're ready to switch him around, sending Alex G into turn number 1 right along the wall. About equal distance into the first outer zone clip with Kane Nash hot on his tail as Alex lays down a pretty solid lead run so far as we go through the inside clip into the last corner. Alex pushing it nice and wide, but look at Kane Nash dive up onto the door of that red S15. All right, as we go to the replay here, again, Alex showing it out nice and wide. Pretty settled coming into the second corner there as we'll see them around the outside. Kane Nash, keep an eye on that proximity of him in the black car there in the chase as we come around into the last corner. Look at him dive right up close as we get to the end of the zone. All right, looks like we've got some results popping through here for the top 8. First top 8 battle here tonight of the Friday Night Frenzy. And top 4, first one to proceed in is Kane Nash, taking out Alex G. So we're getting into the point here now. Drivers starting to filter in, and that was a pretty clean battle. Quinton, how did you feel about that one? Looks like Quinton may have muted himself and forgot to turn himself back on there. Alrighty, as we get set for our next round of battles, leading us into the top 8. Second battle here, we'll have Robin Norris leading us with Jaden Dubbin giving chase here for us. Now, Robin set out a pretty good lead run there in his first round of battles. Alrighty, and that is fine. So yeah, we will carry on. That looks like Quinny has to dip out for tonight, but that's all good. Let's see how the rest of the battle goes here for us tonight. So going into turn number 1, Robin Norris leading us away. Outside line going well. We see Jaden fall behind a little bit there in the outside zone with Robin keeping it pretty clean out there. Nice through the inside clip, throwing it out wide. Maintaining a pretty good line there from Robin Norris as we see him finish off the run there, but Jaden Dubbin, a little bit left to be desired there for that one. We'll see as we switch him around and put Jaden in the lead. See if we can up Robin's lead run. As we go to a quick replay here of this one, as we see Robin keeping it not too aggressive, but looks like it'll be just enough with the proximity there from our chase driver. Puts him in a pretty good position there. It was a safe run from what I would call it, but we'll switch him around and see how we go. He's still got to maintain that proximity in the chase. Here we go as we set ourselves up for the reversal of run number 1. So the Mustang out the front now, leading out our JZX 100 with Jaden throwing it out wide there, coming out a little bit early in the zone, but look at Robin Norris entering into turn number 2 there. We see him jump up onto the door, but waver a little bit back. The Mustangs seem to get away from him a little bit there through the middle of the corner, but into the final zone there. Robin Norris right up onto the door of that purple Mustang. All right, we'll go to a quick replay here of run number 2 here of our top 8 battle with Jaden leading us into the first corner. We see him go pretty mid-line there, but Robin Norris hanging back for that big dive into the outer zone number 2 there. We do see Robin drop back a little bit, but Jaden maintaining the pace and angle through that second corner, but the last corner is where we really see Robin shine here, getting up nice and close to the door of that purple Mustang. Alrighty, there we go. So that is battle number 2 there. Looks like we're going to have Robin Norris taking home the top 8 win there for that one, sending Jaden home there for tonight. Alrighty, there we go. So the battle tree updating there for us now. You'll see up the top there, right in the middle, Kane Nash versus Robin Norris. That'll be a wild battle to watch when that one rolls around after the top 8. All right, getting into our next battle here, we've got Harry Whitehead leading out JC here for our top 8 battle. So Harry sporting the S15 Silvia with JC running the JZX Chaser. As we throw it into turn number 1, Harry out in front, nice and wide. Good transition as we see him come into out zone number 2 there. Keeping it pretty wide. Great to see that with JC having a bit of trouble there keeping up with him. As we come into the last corner, Harry setting a solid line there. Bit of friendly contact as we come across the finish line there. But let's have a look at the replay and see if we can break this one down further. Looks like the S15 was very, very fast throughout the track, but we know that JZX100 is equally as fast with the right setup. But Harry Whitehead getting himself set up really good. JC looks like he got stuck in the transition there a little bit. But coming around to finish out the track, inside zone, big dive from JC, trying to maintain that proximity there as we come through the final corner. Looks like so far we've got a bit of an advantage towards Harry here with JC trying to keep up, but we'll swap him around now and send him once again. So leading us out now, you'll see the big bright yellow car of JC leading us out with Harry in the chase. Harry right up onto his door with JC running a good line, transitioning to the second corner. Solid switch there by Harry in the chase position there, getting right up on the door. As we see him come into the final zone here, Harry maintaining that proximity. Absolutely no problems with keeping up with the big yellow chaser there at all. Looks like JC had a pretty solid run there, keeping the door open there for Harry to chase the whole time. But look, with the strength of that chase run there, looks like Harry will be putting JC on the trailer there after that one. As we have the battle tree pop up here now, you'll see the details refresh. And there we go, Harry down the bottom there. Our third driver into the top 4 here. Alrighty, as we get our next pairing set up, we'll have Will Argoon and Aaron Boswell lining up here for our final top 8 battle here tonight of the Friday Night Frenzy. Now leading us away is the S15 here. Will Argoon did a stellar job in his last battle with Aaron chasing behind them. As we see him come through outer zone number 1, keeping it nice, but a little bit shallow. Late entry into the second corner there by Will, with Aaron hot on his heels there as we come through the inside clip, swinging it around to the outer zone. And a little bit left on the table there by by Will, by not quite getting into the zones there. Aaron looks like he was doing his best as we come to the replay now. So throwing it out wide, we're getting it out wide nice and early, but started to trim off a little bit, but looks like he just transitioned a little bit early there into the second outer zone. But as we came through the zone, filled it nicely, into the inside zone. Looks like he was a little bit off there, left the door wide open for Aaron to jump up onto his door. Alrighty, as we round that battle off there, looks like we've got the server resetting for our next batch of drivers there to pop through shortly. Alrighty, as we have the results loading up here for our final top 8 battle, looks like we have. Oh no, we gotta spin them around one more time potentially. All right, so we get this set up one more time to make sure we are good to go. All right, looks like we've got a few server issues here, waiting for the countdown to finish up here so we can proceed with our next round of battles. Mark's throwing up some notes there on the stream for us, so we have a bit of an understanding as to what's going on. All right, so we got a few people here watching in the virtual crowd tonight. We've got Jack Botting here, who sent it a little bit hard. Yeah, unfortunately there, buddy. And Smisky throwing in the notes there. Yeah, the pressure that the competition does put on you will change the way you drive a little bit. I know when I was training up Mark to compete, we were constantly driving around yelling in his ear throughout the competition in the sim to try and get all the nerves out, get his head in the right place. It was always good fun, as much as he may or may not have liked it. And No Pixel coming in from the US. Yeah, the ping's a bit savage here, playing with servers on the other side of the world or country in some cases. So I know living in Darwin previously, the ping was always a bit of a concern when playing with the Sims, but once you get into the major cities, it's always a bit nicer. Alrighty, as we get this server set back up. If you are in the country anyways and looking for some events to attend, there's quite a few events around Australia that you can attend. If you're here local in Victoria, the next drift event coming up would be the Keep It Reach event potentially. Let's have a quick look at the calendar here. I don't know, looks like the next competition in Victoria will be October 4 to 6 with the High Tech Drift All Stars coming up shortly out at Winton Raceway. I was there for the last one. Unfortunately, going to miss this one. And where else are we? Next up in New South Wales, looks like we've got the 5th and 6th of October, the Spring Matsuri over at Rayleigh Raceway. And competition-wise in Queensland, looks like September 15th, they have the Eastern Drift Championship over at Morgan Park there. That'll be a good show for that track. First drift competition in there either ever or in quite some time from my understanding. So it'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Drove the layout on the sim. Pretty interesting layout. It'll certainly be a challenging for these guys to run, but we'll see how they go. All right, looks like our server is back in action. We'll have our battles lining up once again. Looks like we're going to see the second half of our Will and Aaron battle here shortly. Alrighty, it looks like we are lining up once again, ready to go for our second half of the battle. Maybe giving these boys a bit of a warm up, bit of a shakedown to get them into position, get them lined up and ready to go again. Might be waiting on one of our drivers, Aaron, to jump back in and get ready to go for the second half of this battle. Alrighty, it looks like we are down one driver. We might be sending him solo. Alrighty, it looks like we're just waiting on a few formalities to get these guys back into order after a bit of a reshuffle of the server there. Here we go, they're back at the line here. So after the server reset, we're all different colors now. So we'll send them one more time. Leading us away, we've got Will Argoon with Aaron in the chase. As we come around into the second corner now, look at that S15. Very, very shallow. Bit of a tap of the brake to try and push himself out wide. Proximity is not a problem, but the line is. Who's the line? The line's not a problem out there for Will out there in the front there. Looks like he's dropping a bit of a tire there through the last corner. Finishing that one off. Let's have a quick look at the replay here as we see them come through the chicane with Will out front there, swinging it nice and wide, getting a little bit too deep in that first outer zone. Coming into the second corner, a little bit shallow coming in, but maintains a pretty steady line as we get through the last half of the second clip. Nice and strong through the inner clip there, swinging around outside. And yeah, a bit of a tire drop there from our lead driver there as we come through the final corner. All right, that was the second half of our battle there. So we'll see who takes this one home. Looks like it'll be Aaron Bosel there, potentially taking out the win as we see the details of the scores update. And that rounds out our final four of the competition here tonight with Aaron Bosel slipping in there to the final four. Alrighty, now we're getting to the pointy end of this one. Let's go for our first round of the top four battles. We'll wait for these details to update here, but Kane Nash leading us out with Robin Norris in the chase. Here we go, that BMW E46 swinging it in big time right along the wall, outside, nice and wide there, but look at that chase. Ooh, a little bit shallow there by Robin Norris as we see him come around the last half of the second zone there into the inside clip. This one's getting spicy with Robin Norris taking big jabs to try and maintain that proximity as we come through to the finish line. That one was a little bit sloppy there. Let's see how the replay looks as we watch it back one more time. Look at that, Robin Norris out in the lead, swung it nice and wide there, but look at Robin right up on his door in the chase there. Robin had to sacrifice and hold it back a little bit in that zone there as we come through. Yeah, looks like Kane was pretty solid out there in the lead, but Robin was just a little bit bound up there in the chase. All right, let's turn him around and send him with Robin Norris in the lead with Kane Nash chasing. As we come through the chicane there, plucking through the gears, sends it in. Robin Norris running the midline there through that first corner. As we see Kane Nash try and maintain that proximity. Looks like he's doing a bit better of a job there in the chase, with Robin Norris keeping it clean, keeping that door open. As you see him, Robin Norris a little bit shallow there in the final corner, but Kane Nash right there on his door for that one. Top driving by both of these guys. Great to see them out there giving it to their all. Both Victorian drivers, both regulars down here at Calder Park. Great to see them running together on the sim as well. All right, let's head over to the battle tree, see who our first lot of drivers through to the finals is. Looks like Kane Nash is our first driver into the top 2 battle, with Robin Norris going into the battle for 3rd and 4th there. Great win by Kane there. He was driving super consistent, doing exactly what he needed to do to make sure he put himself in the position to get to the final battle. But lighting up next in the lead, we've got Harry Whitehead chasing is Aaron Bosel. 2 S15s out here. This one will be good. This one will be fast. With Harry nice and wide out there. Big angle through the transition as we see him come into the second outside zone. And he was right on the outside line there, but started to come in a little bit as we go through the inside clip there. And into the final corner there. Aaron a little bit shallow in the chase there, but super aggressive trying to maintain that proximity. Good run by these two guys. Absolutely nothing held back as we go to the replay. Look at Harry running that wide outside line there. Super consistent, big angle. And Aaron doing his best there to keep up. Got stuck on the inside there, had to left foot break out and push himself out a little bit wider. And in the outside, zone 3, Harry Whitehead just absolutely hitting his marks there, leaving the door open for Aaron to chase him. All right, let's turn these boys around. Let's get Aaron in the lead with Harry in the chase. Let's see if Harry can do it as good a chase as he did in the lead, with Aaron throwing it in there very wide against the wall. Very fast transition. Gets a little bit of a late entry into that outside zone there as we come around to the inside clip. A little bit off that one as well, but look at Harry right up on his door in that final corner, showing his stuff there. That is for sure. Alrighty, let's head to a quick replay of this final 4 battle with Aaron back out front. Harry in the chase there. Aaron had a really fast lead run into that one, but Harry had absolutely no problems with maintaining that proximity. There were a few points where he got away from him, but certainly managed to claw his way back like we've seen in the last corner here on his door. That's what we want to see here from these drivers. Equal match cars and absolute excitement. Alrighty, as we see the results come through here for this one. Looks like we'll give them a quick refresh and details coming through. Harry Whitehead into the final 2, with Aaron Bosel going into the battle for 3rd and 4th place. All right, we're getting it to the point here now, so we'll see Aaron and Robin line up this time. Robin will be your lead driver for our 3rd and 4th battle, with Aaron following behind. Now, these two are pretty quick cars again, so we'll see them go head to head. Hopefully they can provide some great action here for us tonight at the Friday Night Frenzy. Into our finals, leading off, Robin Norris through the chicane, plucking through gears, turning the tires the whole way through into outer zone 1. Big angle there from Robin, but look at that. Aaron right up on him. Similar line, had to drop back a little bit there with too much angle, but Robin out front there, hitting his marks super wide into the final corner. Great strong run there from Robin in the lead. with Aaron having some big jabs trying to maintain that proximity. All right, let's have a look at the replay real quick. Look at that, Aaron trying to get right up onto his door, but you see him there in that second corner there, just put on a little bit too much angle and fall behind. Coming to the final corner, Robin Norris absolutely laying it out on the yellow outside line there. Stellar run there from Robin in the JZX 100. Alrighty, now we turn him around there. We'll have Aaron Bosel leading us out with Robin Norris in the chase as we sit on the start line and send him through momentarily for our third and fourth battle. All right, through the chicane, churning the tires all the way to the clipping zone 1. Aaron a little bit shallow, not leaving the door open for Robin there in the chase. Aaron super wide there, a little bit too wide, probably dipped a tire as we see Robin claw his way back to the door of the S15 as we come through the final corner there. Aaron taking a bit of a V-shape approach to that corner, but Robin Norris doing his best to avoid a collision, but still keep the proximity. Let's head to a replay of this one, and let's keep an eye on Robin in this one. So we see him have a pretty equal line going through the first corner, big dive into the second outside zone, but see him still manage to keep the tires in the outside zone there. It's nice and close here on the inside clip, switches back and had to jump on the anchors big time to avoid a collision with Aaron there. But good run by Robin there. You really see him watching that lead car and making sure he is where he needs to be and when he needs to be there. Alrighty, there we go. So that was our battle for third and fourth place. We'll know some results as we get to the end of this one tonight. Oh, look at that. We've got some results already. Robin Norris taking out the win for third place there. Aaron putting himself in fourth position after that battle for third and fourth place. Alrighty, as we get our final battle here lined up for tonight, we'll get some details updated in one moment here with our finalists. We know we've got Kane Nash and Harry Whitehead lining up for our final battle here tonight. These two have been driving great so far tonight, so it'll be one spectacle to see these guys run door to door. As we see them lead the line, Kane Nash leading us out, absolutely smoking the tires all the way up to outer clip number 1, which he runs nice and wide there, leaving the door open for Harry, and Harry in outer zone 2, right up onto his door. Kane keeping a smooth, consistent line, but watch for the dive here. Harry maintaining that proximity the whole way through the track. Big dives, big excitement. Look at these two boys run. Great line there from Kane out in the lead as we've seen him go through the whole lap there, hitting pretty much every mark as he made his way through. But Harry absolutely not letting down in the chase. Alrighty, as we switch him around now, Harry Whitehead leading us with Kane Nash in the chase. Let's see these boys go as the starter will be releasing them. Here we go, through the chicane. Harry Whitehead now out in the lead. Kane Nash in the chase. Look at that outside line there from Harry Whitehead as we transition into outside zone number 2. Oh, Kane hot on his heels, so keep an eye out for that one as we see Harry keep a nice arc, hitting the inside clipping point, getting a nice swing out to the final zone. My goodness, what a battle between these two drivers. This is the battle that we've wanted to see all night. A great lead, great chase by both parties, leaving the door open. Let's watch it one more time. Harry Whitehead, though, right out on the outside line with Kane Nash absolutely diving in there for his door. Maintaining the line, though, that's exactly what we want to see from these drivers as we transition into the final corner. Harry keeping it nice and wide, but Kane Nash right where he needs to be. This will be an interesting one, potentially a one more time. I know I'd like to see it one more time, see these boys go. Alrighty. Not too sure if we've got any results, but look at that. Kane Nash in the BMW E46 beating out Harry Whitehead. That was a stellar battle between these two, but it looks like just Kane's control there in the chase. That would be my points of him leading that one out, as we see him in the background there throw one hell of a skid as we come through, sending our finalists out onto the racetrack for a quick expression session there, burn out some tires and party hard. Awesome run by all 16 of these drivers tonight, wrapping up the first Friday Night Frenzy. We'll be back in just a quick moment with some more results and potentially some prizes. Alrighty, as we see some results come back, we will head to a quick break. That is our competition over here tonight. But don't go away just yet. We've got some more expression sessions battles as we wrap up the competition. We'll let these boys continue running, carry on for the night. As we see Mark wrapping up there. Thank you for watching, and also a massive shout out to our sponsors and partners. Obviously Atlantic Oils, Zoo Performance, ShopADV.net, AU Drift Society, and all the other supporters and drivers out here tonight for putting on a show. Now with the support that we've got, make sure you follow along and make sure you reach out to us if you want to see this again next time. And if you want to drive, let us know. Make sure you tune into the normal Tuesday night streams about 8:30 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for your weekly drifting action from the Bali Drifters. But signing off tonight, thank you for watching. I'm Patrick Barley and my co-host Quinton, who had to step away tonight. Thank you for following along. We'll see you next time.